Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video we're going to be testing the new XX Revolution products. I did do a whole video on these, so I will link that in the description below. So as you can see, I am barefaced. I've got a primer to try on first, so let's get to it. The first thing I'm going to put on is the XX Revolution primer, and this is the Cloud Complexion primer. And when I tested this in the whole video, it felt like a really weird consistency. I do have moisturiser in that on at the moment. But yeah, it's a really kind of whipped mousse texture. It feels quite soft actually. It doesn't feel as moussey when you put it on the face. So that's the primer on. It does have some light reflecting particles in there. I can't remember what this is actually meant to do. I think it's meant to be pore refining or something like that, and that's why I picked this one, because a lot of the other primers were hydrating. So yeah, it just gives me a little bit of a glow. Okay, so make sure you check out my previous video because it does have swatches and stuff. So I'll be doing the testing today, so I won't be doing any swatches. And that also had all the prices and everything like that in it. Where I can remember, I will put the prices in. So yeah, the Cloud Complexion primer, I just had to look it up. It was £15 and it says it's for blurred and brightening skin. So it's basically filter in a jar. That's what it calls it. So now I'm going to move on to foundation. So this is what the foundation looks like. I got it in the shade FX1. So on the bottle it doesn't actually say which of the foundations this was, which could maybe a little bit confusing. There are two foundations. There's one a dewy and one that's more matte and full coverage. So this is the matte and full coverage one because that's kind of my thing. So I got the shade FX1. There were lighter shades than this, but I usually buy shade 1 in the Revolution foundations. That just seems to be a good shade for me. So my weapon of choice today is a beauty sponge. This is just an Aldi one. I don't even think they do these anymore, but if they do come back in, they are really good and really cheap. And yeah, so let's put on this foundation. So that's one layer of the foundation. Normally I would say this is a good colour for me, but because the weather's been really nice in the UK, I've got a tiny bit of a tan, so it's not exactly matching me, but for colder months and when this tan goes, this colour will match me perfectly. So when I've put it on, I can still see some blemishes. I don't know how well you can see them, but I've got them here, here and here. It's not covered them up, it's covered the ones on my forehead. I still feel like I've got a little bit of redness peeping through on my cheeks, so maybe I just need to go and build it up a little bit. That's another layer, and I've just put that on my cheeks, and the blemishes on here and here have gone now. So it definitely is a buildable foundation. You can definitely put another layer on. My cheeks are now full coverage, so they look really good. I've still got a little bit of redness on my nose, but I'm going to put the concealer there, so I'm not going to build that one up as well. So I think it looks pretty good. This is a £15 foundation, so I think this is actually the most expensive foundation that Revolution do, but I think it looks really good. There's only a little bit of shine to it, which I'm assuming will be maybe from that primer, because that had a bit of illumination to it, but when I'm looking at it, it looks so matte, which I love. So let's move on to the concealer now. I did get the concealer in the shade CX1. So again, there's lighter shades than this, but this is just the shade I picked out. So this was £10. So let's put a little bit of this on. So I didn't pick a lighter colour, I just picked the one that matched the foundation. I don't like the packaging for this because I feel like the thing gets stuck in it. It's not effortless. And I like to dip my concealer in, go in a couple of times, so I don't like that it gets stuck all the time. So that's a very full coverage concealer. It's definitely covered up. I'll have like a little bit of under eye, like maybe discoloration or whatever you call it, like not exactly heavy bags, but like a little bit of purple under there, and it's definitely covered that up. So yeah, right now I'm feeling very full coverage, which I love, you know, I'm not going to complain. I didn't buy one of the powders because I'm a kind of a little bit of a, I kind of believe that you can buy any powder, like it doesn't need to be like an expensive one. I think everything was quite expensive in this range, so like, you know, you can get like a £3 Essence one, it'll do the same job. Like, I'm not convinced on powders. Basically, I had bought like the Estee Lauder double wear powder one, so I didn't see any difference than using like a cheap one. So but I do have another Revolution product to try. So this is the pressed powder infinite, so it's just like a white powder. I bought this not too long ago. I think it was like a recent-ish release, so I just thought I'd try that out because I haven't tried it before. That's the powder on. It's like mattified me really nicely. Some white powders I feel leave you like looking like Casper and really white, but I don't feel like it has done that one. I mean, it might look really different on camera, but in real life I feel like I'm a good shade. So they did have separate bronzers, but I didn't pick up any of those just because I think if I'm going to pick up something like that, I want to see it in real life, because I know a lot of bronzers can pull quite orange and I don't like that. I would rather have some, I would actually like, I prefer to have like a grey toned bronzer. I know people really don't like it, but I would prefer something a little bit more ashy than orange. So I didn't pick up any of those. I'll check those out when they come to store. I did buy the Hourglass dupe palette. So this is the Elemental palette. I think these are like sold out on Revolution's website, but you can buy them on Boots' website in the UK. And they are currently on 3 for 2 in Boots as well, so you can save yourself a little bit of money. So if you'll have seen my whole video, I did like a swatch of this and it didn't really show up on, you know, on my hand. So that's the only bronzer that I've got, so we'll just roll with it and see what happens. It is a very powdery bronzer. Can you see, like in the pan, it's kicked up like a lot of powder, and I've just gone in lightly with like my Spectrum brush. It's not even like a hard brush. So I may stand corrected thinking that it wouldn't show up on me, because it has. So I'm actually pleasantly surprised with that one. So, you know, don't always go on, you know, your first thoughts. Always test something out. So I feel like it looks darker on my face. I don't know, maybe, you know, maybe that's just what in my head. I'm not 100% sure, but that bronzer has showed up. It's a little bit warm, not gonna lie, but you know, it works for me, so that's good. I also forgot to say as well, it blended really nicely. So there was a lot of kick up when I put my brush in it, but it did blend out really nice, because some bronzers can really stick to your skin and like refuse to budge, whereas I felt like this one blended really well. Okay, so for blush, we've got one of the blush, single blushes. There is like a highlighty kind of blush in that palette, but I wanted to use like the single blush. Excuse my horrible lockdown nails, I've not been able to get them done. So this is the shade Retro. When I swatched this, it was so pigmented, so I'm probably just gonna have to go in with a light hand on this one. See, I've just gone in really lightly and loads has come off on my brush. I'm like really like nervous to like put it on my face, because look at that, and I am just literally like going in. Oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna look like a clown. You like literally need to go in with the tiniest bit of blush. So like this like was £8, but it will last you forever. Again, there's a little bit of kick up in the pan, but you know, it blended really nicely. Obviously, like, my blush is brighter than what I would normally have, but you know, I feel like it blended a little bit more, so like I'm not as clown cheeked as I was originally. So we're going to do highlight, then we're going to move on to the eyes. So I've got one of the single highlighters, and this is in the shade Echo, so it just looks like this. It's like it is probably one of the lightest colours. It was quite hard in the pan when I first swatched it, but it swatched really nice. So let's see what it picks up like with a brush. Okay, so that actually looks really lovely. I am interested in picking up more of these highlights, but I feel like I want to swatch them in store because I feel like the website confused me a little bit onto how dark they, you know, like the lighter shades were. I couldn't really gauge it that well, but this one's a nice fit. Okay, so I've zoomed you in a little bit here, and I didn't pick up one of the eye bases. I think it was about £8, but I don't need any more eye bases, so I didn't pick it up. So I'm using the Revolution Cut Crease Canvas in the shade Halo. I've used this so many times in my video. It's a really good base, and you can also use it for like cutting the crease. It makes eyeshadows pop as well, so I recommend these. So this is the eyeshadow quad that I got. This is the shade or the palette Exclusive. There are no shade names, there are only shade numbers. So I got the lovely purple one. Again, I think the palettes are something that I would like to swatch in store and not, you know, buy online. So I only picked up one. So the first shade I'm going to go into is that light purple there. Like, it's like a mauvey kind of purple. When I swatched these, they were really soft. So I'm just going to put that in the crease. The light purple down. The next purple is like a satin, so I'm not going to use that in the crease. I'm going to go into the darker purple, use a bit of that in the crease and the outer corner. So I'm kind of in the middle of doing one eye, and I just want to show you like it's a little bit of a mess. So there was quite a bit of fallout, so there's all fallout around here, which I'm assuming I'm going to have to use some concealer to fix it because it's not something that will just wipe away. I did put it under my eye as well just to try and like clean it up a little bit, but I kind of feel like it's a little bit patchy. I don't know how well you can see, but there's like some little bits where it's not blending that well. I'm gonna have a play around a little bit more with it though. Okay, so I feel like I look like a little bit like a clown right now, but it's always like when an eye look is halfway through, it's always like a bit all over the place. So I did this eye off camera, and I definitely think going in with like little product and like building it up definitely worked a lot better for me on this one than it did on this one. I noticed like less like skipping, and I feel like it just built up a lot nicer, and there wasn't a lot of fallout or as much fallout as I did with this eye. So I'm going to go in with that gold shade now, and to me these feel like quite of a like a creamy kind of texture, like almost like a Super Shock kind of shadow, that kind of thing. So I'm not even going to try putting it on with a brush. I'm just going to go straight in with my finger. Okay, so that's like a first pass, and as you can see in the pan, it's like it's kind of moulded to my finger, so that's why I feel like it's more creamy. So yeah, I think they're doing alright. I mean, the great thing about lockdown nails is you can actually get in there that you couldn't do before. But yeah, I think it looks really pretty, that gold. Okay, so that's the gold on both eyes, and while I do think it looks quite pretty, look at the mess it's kind of made in the pan. Like it's, you know, like I've got like a massive dent where I've been sticking my finger in. So I'd say the only like drawback of using this is I don't feel like it would last a long time. Like I'd probably only say about maybe 10 uses of like using it to this intensity, and I think you would probably use that all up. So I'm just going to go back into that dark purple and like re-intensify the outer corner. Okay, so our eyes are like pretty much done. I'm just going to apply these Eyeshadow pre-glued wispy lashes in the style 117. I got these from B&M Bargains, so I can't wait to try these. They're £2.49. And then my brows, I was like, eyes are on, brows are heavy. So I got this tattoo brow, and it's in the shade dark brown, and normally buy like every like pencil or whatever in dark brown. It's never usually dark enough, but yet this is like too dark, so my eyebrows look like whoa. But you know, we're going for full glam today, so it's okay. Okay, so these like £2.50 eyelashes were so good. Like the, you know, the wispy, so like I like them. They're not like too OTT, and like literally they just like stuck to my eye straight away, because sometimes you can mess about with glue forever, but these just like stuck to my eyes, and they're on, they're not moving, and you know, you don't have that faffing around. Like with my inner corner, it never sticks down. I have to go back in a couple of times. Stuck straight to it, and it says it's got 15 hours wear, 15-second application, which I can't believe, the 15-second application. So if you've got like a B&M Bargains near you, go and get some of these. I feel like I've seen some in Home Bargains, but they were in different packaging. It was like almost the same thing but different packaging, and they were like the same price. I think they were the same style, just, you know, they probably just made these for Home Bargains, because sometimes the companies actually do make them for the cheaper stores, like, you know, so they can fit on the shelves. They're making them different packaging. Anyway, let's not go into that. So I don't have like a lipstick, or like I can't remember if they had lipsticks in the range. I don't think so actually. So I'm gonna like use this. So what is this? This is from the Revolution Pro range. It is the lipstick in corset. It's one of those diamond ones. And then I'm going to put, I've got some of the like Fenty dupes. So these are like the gloss bomb kind of dupes. I think they're called, oh, Shimmer bombs. So these were like in a little 3-pack for £10. And I'm just going to put like the little white one over the top of it. The lipstick with the gloss over it, and if I'm completely honest, the lipstick had some shimmer anyway in it, so like the gloss has just put like a little bit of shine to it, because I don't feel like it's amped up the shimmer. But I think if you were putting it over like a matte lipstick, I think it would look really nice. Okay, so that's everything that I picked up from the XX Revolution range. Overall, I think it's done, you know, pretty well. I mean, it is a lot more expensive than normal Revolution stuff, but that foundation looks so cool. So, and then the highlighter is so glowy. I feel like it's kind of a little bit of a dewy glow, more than like a boom highlighter. I don't know, maybe you're gonna think differently. But yeah, I am gonna come back in a little bit and like do like some kind of foundation like update like in a couple of hours, so you can see like how it's worn. I do have some more products from Revolution, XX Revolution 2 review. I've got like the glowy foundation on the way, so we'll do like a review on that, because I think it'd be interesting to see, like I have like a combination skin, so it'll be interesting to see how it lasts on my skin as well, because you know, it'd be nice every now and again to do like a little bit of a dewy look rather than just having to stick to matte all the time. So yeah, I will see you in a little bit for a face update. Hey guys, welcome back. So it's around like 6 hours later while I've been wearing this makeup. It's been a nice day. I've got a little bit of a tan or a little bit of burn, so I thought we'd do like a little check in and see how the makeup is wearing. So the first thing that I notice is my eyeshadow. So that gold that I put, I'm actually holding it now, so the gold here, because it's kind of like a creamy formula, it is kind of kind of disappeared in the crease, and it started like smudging other things like my eyeliner, because I haven't touched my eyes, but yet my eyeliner around here is like disappearing and smudging and like clumping up, and it does not look nice. It's probably because it's like you know, a wet base, like, you know, the eyeliner's not stuck to it very well. So yeah, as you can see, well, I don't know how well you can see, it's kind of disappearing a little bit, which, you know, is a little bit disappointing. The highlighter is still in place, and I think most of the makeup is still in place, really, like the bronzer and the blush are still there. I think after 6 hours the foundation is holding up really well, because usually like foundation I would get it clumping around my nose, like all kind of congesting together and all product building up, and none of that has started to happen yet. I only see like a tiny weeny bit of shine, and like my forehead is like not shiny at all. So I think after 6 hours this foundation has worn really nicely, and it's still full coverage. I don't think it's worn off a little bit. I would say if I really needed to be picky with it, it's settled into my lines around my mouth and maybe around like here, but other than that it's fine. I think that, and I think that's probably because it's such a full cakey full coverage foundation, that's why it has settled. But other than that I think it's really well. So there have been some really good products in this range, like I think my favourite is probably the foundation, and then the eyeshadows, you know, not the best, but you can obviously make them work. So yeah, thanks for watching this video today. I will be doing other Revolution videos soon. I've got the glowy foundation to review, so that will come up soon, and yeah, I've got like loads of videos to film, so just stay tuned. We'll see you again shortly. Bye.